Have you seen King Richard? About a father that wants to provide the best future for his kids? Well, here's my takeaways from that movie. Welcome back, Preneurs. I have 10 points that I took away from this movie. There's so many others, but I have my top 10 points I'm gonna give to you here. And the last one I think is by far the best one, so stick with me to the end of the video. Number one that I took from this video is plan for your kids. Okay, so either you have kids or you don't have kids yet. If you do, you need to have a plan for them, or you are literally planning to fail your kids. Okay. Number two I took is natural gifts. So have you looked at your kids? And what I saw through the movie, he was able to look at them and say, these have natural gifts, you're right, and that I want to be able to expand upon. I want to be able to foster. And can you support those gifts so they can make them even stronger, so they can be able to dominate in those gifts effectively? That's number two. Number three I took was that he always had fun. King Richard, which is Serena's dad, Venus's dad, he always made it fun for them from the beginning of time when they started even playing the sport of tennis. So they felt in love with it because it became a love sport for them. And then look what happened. They become the best in the world because of that. Number four is prepare them for every scenario. He would have them training in the rain. He would have them doing all these different things to always be prepared for every scenario, every adversity. And he would always make sure that anytime there was adversity, that he was always ready to talk to them about what happened so they could learn from their mistakes, so they could always get better. So recapping always mistakes. He never let a mistake happen without a lesson from it. Number five, don't let your personal insecurities that maybe you have from your own past as parents, or the failures that you had in the past, actually project on your kids. So I remember in the movie, there's a lot of gang members that are consistently keep coming and attacking them as they keep trying to develop their sport. And one of the stories that he shared was that when he was younger, that he was getting beat up, and that his dad, he saw his dad, he looked up, he was getting jumped by some men, and he looked up and he saw his dad run away versus coming to help him. And one of King Richard's personal insecurities actually positioned her to actually be held back because she was well beyond her years of becoming pro. However, because of that insecurity of not being there, that he thought he wasn't going to be there like his father was, he was like, you know what, I don't want you to play pro yet, I don't want to play, I just want you to have fun, I want you to be a kid. And she was able to stand in front of him and say, look it, I'm not going to let you down. And so he was able to overcome that insecurity, saying, I will trust you. And I also trust myself to not let this affect your future moving forward. Number six is humble in your wins and humble in your losses. There was a big win for Venus in the movie. And one of the things that stood out to me was that after they won, all the kids in the car were all going all crazy, saying, oh my gosh, you won, showing the awards and everything like that, which was facts. She was dominating the other girl. But King Richard says, no matter what, hey, we're going to be humble. We're going to be humble. And the girls didn't understand exactly what was happening, so he made them watch Cinderella over and over and over again until they understood how to be humble. So what does that mean? Being humble in your wins, also being humble in your losses, which is a very big deal because as she went on to be able to step into her first professional match and took a big loss versus the number one person in the world, she was able to be humble in her loss. And I think that helped her tremendously in her career. Next is number seven, what I took from the movie, is must have other eyes on your skills. And what do I mean by that? There's so many blind spots that we have when we're trying to develop our kids. And one thing that King Richard understood is that he could not be the best coach, so he always brought someone else in to be able to help develop his kids. He always had somebody also watching all their blind spots so they could be able to see different things, different aspects that always improve their game. And number eight is those that want a part of your future success have to take ownership of your now. So one thing that King Richard definitely set up was making sure that anyone that coached, that saw them as potential to being futurely successful, that they took ownership of the now. Like there was one of the coaches that wanted 15% of all the future earnings. Well, King Richard said, well, here's our standard agreement that you're going to have to give a house, that you're going to have to do all these different things to take ownership of our now if you want our future success. Because yes, we're going to be futurely successful, but you need to take ownership of the now. So what are you doing right now to set up the now so you can have future success? That was a big point. And number 9, okay, was you can do the impossible. I remember in the beginning of that film, he was talking to one of the coaches that he wanted to coach his daughters. And the guy says, what you're really saying right now is you have 2 Mozarts in your house. Like, to take girls from Compton, California, that never played the sports, you guys do not have financial resources to be able to consistently keep affording this coaching and everything else. To take them to become professionals, be the best in the world, that's like having 2 Mozarts in your house. But King Richard said, I have a plan, and this is what's exactly what's going to happen. So that's doing the impossible. Do you have the mindset to inject in your kids, or that plan to say, you know what, we're going to do the impossible? That was very, very big, and they did. And the last point, which was one of the biggest points to me, which was drive your kids to success. Now, Venus was 63-0, and she was the first one to play professionally in the family, and she was the #1 in the world, and all these different things. But one girl that was in her shadow, which was her sister, which was Serena. And Serena, I remember one part of the film, which was probably my favorite, is Serena standing in the stadium, and she's looking on the court, and she knows her sister's about to play. And King Richard comes out to her and says, hey, how you feel right now? She's like, you know what, like, I feel okay. And he says, I know you're upset that you're not on the court right now. She says, yeah. He says, but don't worry, I have this all planned out. I had you in the shadow of Venus for a reason, because I knew that you could handle it. I knew that if you're in the shadow of greatness, that eventually you're going to grow beyond that. And yes, Venus is going to be #1 in the world, but you're going to be prepared to be the greatest of all time. And that was a powerful, powerful statement, because he knew his kids. He knew which one he needed to drive to become the first. He knew which one is going to follow behind, become the greatest of all time. So yes, you can have the first in your household, and also you can have the greatest of all time, which is literally those 2 Mozarts. So those are the 10 points highlights that I took from that film. And we actually did another video as well that actually talks about the power of a plan for your children. If you already have children or your unborn children as well, you should definitely check it out. But with that, that would be today's video. If you have not watched that video, I highly recommend it, because there's so many secrets of success that can help your family today and also in the future. So with that, Preneurs, go in and check out any other videos we have. Like, share, comment with the social medias, and click that notification button if you haven't, so you can see all the next videos that we upload as well. Until then, we'll see you next time.